Frick.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to those, hopefully, that were in the first one, or maybe you skipped the first one and are just coming to this one. If you were in the first one, hopefully you did your homework. Meeting is being recorded. Okay. Is all sound, seeing my screen, everything good? Cool. All right. So get out of here. There we go. All right, so welcome to AI 102. We're going to go through 10 uses for AI in our real estate business. Obviously, these aren't all 10 of the uses, and some can fan out to many, many uses within the uses. So we'll go over 10 main uses, and some of them you might already be dabbling with, ways you can use it in your business. Before I dive in, again, if you weren't here before or don't know me, I'm Derek Bixler, Data 3, real estate agent of 20 plus years now, outdoor adventure sportsman, volunteer firefighter here in Carlisle, podcaster and content creator. I have a podcast called Google for Real Estate that is all about all the stuff I'm talking about here, as well as local SEO and Google business profiles and all that kind of stuff. So if you want more of that, you can search that on Spotify or Apple. And I'm also a local SEO and AI geek, which is why I'm here, agency owner at SearchBomb, where I do local SEO, blah, 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 all that stuff that I said. Um, so that's who I am. Like I mentioned, hopefully everybody that was in the first one did their homework, or if you already had the stuff done, you already had the stuff done and you skipped that, which was picking your model or a couple of models and creating the accounts, setting that up, making sure you have easy access on all your devices, go through and complete all the settings like we talked about, turn on and authorize connectors and plugins as you see fit. I like to turn them all on, but up to you. And a lot of the stuff we're going to talk about today, they pretty much, a lot of them have to be on for some of this stuff to work. So, um, and like I talked about, your data's not going out there to just anybody, so I would turn those on. But anyway, hopefully you did number four and number five, complete master prompts and insert them into your master instructions and settings. That's probably the most time consuming one. But hopefully at least the rest of the things, and maybe you're still working on your master prompts. So hopefully you're set up with your accounts and you got your AI or AIs of choice and you're ready to go. As I go through the things here, I'm almost exclusively going to use Google Gemini, but keep in mind you can use chat. It's very similar things other than like when I talk about Notebook LM, that's exclusive, but you could still do things in chat or Claude or Grok, maybe not Grok, but Claude and chat for sure. You could do all the same stuff, very similar. If you were confused about how it translates, just say, hey, how do I don't have Notebook LM. I don't use Gemini. How do I do this here with you, ChatGPT? Achieve the same thing, and then it'll tell you how to do it. So also get used to just talking to the thing and asking it how to do stuff. But I will be mostly using Gemini. That's just the one I use the most, and it does all the things. Some of the models don't do all the things, so this is easier just to show you examples. One thing will be in ChatGPT. 10 uses, the 10 uses that we're going to go through. And we only have an hour, so it's going to be fairly quick. All these things have tons of nuances and learning curves. And when you start doing them, you're going to be like, this is crap. I can't use this or whatever. But you have to kind of stick with it a little bit and get your prompts down and tailor it, as we'll talk about. Just putting a simple prompt in and expecting it to give you exactly what you want. The way you want it is not going to happen. You have to tweak things over time and work with the thing, just like an employee. If you got a new employee and you said, go make me a website, and they went and made it and came back, and you were like, that's garbage. I hate that. I didn't want it that way. Well, you didn't tell me what to do or give me any direction. So you have to kind of be willing to dial the things in a bit. And then once they're dialed in, then it can start doing the thing exponentially for you. So the 10 uses we're going to go over are organization, info management, CRM. You could technically ditch your CRM for a lot of people and build it. You could literally build an actual CRM, which we will actually do here while we're sitting here, or just do it with like Google Sheets, which we'll talk about, and AI. So CRM, you can kind of replace or supplement transaction management, helping you with your transaction management. CMAs doing home price analyses, image and video editing, that's one that I feel like a lot of people have dabbled with already. We'll do that. We'll make a little video and see what comes of it. Number six, automation and scheduling. That's the part where you really have to have your connectors turned on for the things to be able to access your calendar and add tasks to your to-do list or create a new spreadsheet and put it in your Google Drive or create a flyer and put it into Canva for you to now edit it. So really got to have all those connectors on, which will be super important for the automation and scheduling part. Research, nothing does research better than AI. So, and that's one I feel like a lot of people have dabbled with. Actually, you've dabbled with it even if you didn't know it, because every time you ask AI a question, it is doing way more research than it ever has in the past to give you an answer about even the littlest thing. So, research and deep research, better than we could ever do it, is super, super good. Writing, unless you write a lot, you're probably not that good at it. I despise writing listing descriptions, and that's probably the thing most people have dabbled in and started doing with AI. Um, so writing, it can do a lot more than listing descriptions, blog writing, website, blah, blah, blah. I could write anything. So we'll talk about that a little bit. Obviously, you're not going with just whatever it gives you, copy paste. That is not the way to do it, but we'll talk about the writing part a little bit. Presentations, all kinds of presentations, slide decks, websites, um, PDF exports, flyers, spreadsheets, Google Docs, whatever you want, pretty much. You can even make a game out of it. You can make music out of it, like we talked about. So presentation wise, you can make so many deliverables for your clients. It's crazy. Like making something pretty to give somebody is no longer a need. And for anybody that's using like a Gamma or some kind of add-on presentation builder, I argue that it's unnecessary. You can do it right in Gemini or right in most of the AIs, except Claude does not do imagery or video or any of that kind of stuff. So presentations, it can do a ton of that. And then social media and marketing, it can help with all that, with actually creating content for the social media, but then also analyzing your stuff and telling you what you should do and how you're doing and all that kind of stuff. So we will start at number one, the organization, info management and reporting. It can kind of be like your second brain, so you don't have to remember all the things. You do have to remember, however, to tell the AI all the things. You have to get in a habit with AI in general for all these steps. AI has to have the data. It has to know things again to be able to help you. So if you're not giving it all the information, then it can't help you. If you ask it a question about the thing and you never told it the answer to that, then it obviously can't pull it out of thin air and give that to you. But it can take some stress off of you trying to remember everything. Where did I put that? What were the upgrades they told me at the house, or all these kind of things? Oh no, did I write down their phone number? So it can be your second brain and keep track of all that stuff for you. One thing which I actually just thought of right now while I was sitting here, I don't know why I didn't put it in here. Um, One way you could use it as a second brain is you can record all your conversations with clients. A lot of people are doing it that way. You can even buy a separate device. Plod is one of the companies. Even on Amazon, you could just look up Plod pendant, and then there will be knockoffs for cheaper. That will just, it's a pendant or a wristlet or some kind of device that's, or you can put it on the back of your phone sometimes, like a credit card thing, and it's just going to record conversations for you. Some of them record the actual phone conversation also. And then what you can do with that is you can give those conversations to AI to take your notes or your action items, your to-dos, all the things that you want to know. Just keep a log of it. and do whatever you want to also give you feedback on like what are the common problems that all of my clients have, blah blah blah. So recording conversations now is super super great since we can give them to AI and have it put them in a nice neat way. Obviously there are disclosure things and tell people they're being recorded and all that stuff. Usually if you frame it properly, that's not a problem. It helps me stay organized and not forget something or miss I'm trying to listen to you and miswriting something down, or if I write that I'm not listening. We never get everything. So recording it's really great. It's not going out public, blah blah blah. Um, so that would be a great use of the second brain. Just record stuff and then give it to your AI so it knows all the things. But then also just telling it things, which here in my example, that will make a little bit more sense. So, a lot of people have heard of Notebook LM with Google, which is actually now called Gemini Notebook, as you can see here. For every property, you could make a notebook, which is what I do. So, did I? Yes, I deleted my chat history, so you can't see any sensitive information here. So, this is a listing I have right now. And you can see I created a notebook and I do this for every listing, every buyer, every transaction for the most part now. And this is basically a place where I compile every single thing about the deal. Everything, everything gets inserted in here as a file, all the flyer pages, all the past disclosures, the current disclosure, the current MLS sheet, all the notes from all the meetings, notes about the showing. Showing number one, here was the feedback. Showing number two was on this date, all the feedback, the open house we had, what happened there. Even you can attach videos in here. So it's even got my drone aerial video of the property in here, my walkthrough video of the property in here, and every note I ever take on the property in here. So this is like the all-knowing brain of the transaction that knows everything. And again, your information in here doesn't go out anywhere. It's stored literally in a Google Drive folder in your Google Drive, just like the Google Drive you already have there with all these files in it. If you were to go to your Google Drive, you would see a folder for your notebooks and stuff. So, this is not going out anywhere. You don't have to worry about somebody going to Gemini or ChatGPT or something and saying, "Hey, tell me the seller's phone number of 145 James Smith." It's not going to tell you. It's not going to get out there. It's all right here. So this is like the all-knowing brain knows everything. If I forget something, I can just come in here and say, "What are the upgrades the seller did?" And it's going to give it to me. You can also over here create all kinds of reports if you're not familiar with this. An audio overview, it'll basically make a podcast out of the information in here. Different kinds you can pick, short, long, blah, blah, blah. What sources do you want to use for it? So if I wanted to make a podcast but only talk about traditions of America at Silver Spring, not about the property, I just want to make a podcast just talking about that, then I could tell it, just make it about traditions of America, leave out everything else. I could select the sources that I want, and voila, you get a podcast out the other side that you could share with people, have on a speaker at the property, send to people, whatever you want to do. You can make slide decks, video overviews, which are basically slide decks that are animated and with voiceovers on it. The cinematic ones are a little bit more immersive and animation and stuff. Mind maps, flashcards, reports, blog post. If you want to generate a blog post, when we talk about writing, I'll tell you a little bit about how to write a little bit better, but at least the starting point you can get right there. All kind of other reports, quizzes, infographics, data tables, all kind of stuff. So if you wanted to generate any kind of deliverable for either clients or prospects or buyers or flyer type stuff, or reports for your sellers about things, about showings, about whatever, it can all happen right there. So Notebook LM, super awesome tool and great place to think of as kind of a replacement. I still, for now, put everything in a Google Drive folder also. But it's kind of like your new Google Drive folder. You can just put everything in here, and then it is the all-knowing thing. You can also access your notebooks via the regular Gemini chat. So if I was in regular Gemini here, I can access my notebooks, select that notebook because I can only upload up to 8 files in a regular chat. So if I wanted to chat with Gemini and do something related to that property, but I wanted it to be the all-knowing, know everything, I just attach my notebook and say, create me a website about this. And actually, I think I have one to go. Yeah, create a beautiful, engaging, and bold because that's the one thing Notebook LM does not do is uh, create websites. And Gemini is smarter and scans the documents better, I find. So usually if I want to talk to a notebook, talk to Gemini about a notebook, I will attach it to a regular one and put it on Pro, side note. But anyway, I'm going to build a website here. So if you were in here, you'd click Canvas. And if you said create me a website, it would automatically do it. But I'm just going to say create me a beautiful, engaging, and bold website with interactive elements, all about everything anyone would want to know about traditions of America at Silver Spring. So again, a website just about the neighborhood. And when I'm making a website, I always like the smartest model, even though they will say the others can do it. You want the smartest one. I'm even going to go extended on it. As we talked about, the smarter and the more extended thinking you use, the more tokens it's going to use. So, like, if I did a lot of websites today, then I would probably get cut off on my limit before I would just chatting with it. So, anyway, we are going to see what comes of that one while we're doing this. So notebooks, huge fan of notebooks. A lot of people are already familiar with Notebook LM or now Gemini Notebook. So that's one I would really familiarize yourself with, especially also because people are using Google Drive and all the Google stuff already a lot of times. So that's great. Again, if you use ChatGPT or Claude, there are ways to do similar same thing there. You just go there and say, hey, I want to do the same thing as Notebook LM here. How can I do that? Or just use both. Use some Gemini, some of Claude or whatever, like I do. So that's a great example. Gemini Notebook, awesome for organization, info, management, and reporting. And obviously a lot more beyond that, but that's a good one that everybody could implement right now. CRM, you could build, and I did it here. If you wanted just a very simple CRM, you could get a spreadsheet of your contacts, drop it in here. The attached spreadsheet will be the start of a CRM. Update it when I tell you to, blah, blah, blah. Unless you are using an advanced agent, there are ways to do it a little bit more advanced. This way it has to do it within the chat, but it still works great. So I told it what to do, and I can give you this prompt if anybody wants it, or I'll put it in the end thing. I'll give the prompt and the takeaway at the end once I build that. Uh, This is going to be CRM here, right in the chat. That's all it is. A chat in Gemini, and you could do this in Claude or any of them. Do the same thing. I have a spreadsheet. Make sure it's not a CSV because for some reason Gemini can't read a CSV. I'm going to upload a spreadsheet of my contacts. This is a demo one with only like one fake contact in there. You're going to be in my CRM, blah, blah, blah. You'll have the prompt. And then now my exact spreadsheet is right here in the chat, and in this chat it can make changes to it, add notes, add new people, whatever. As you can see, then I said add a task for Monday for me to call Johnny Smith that day to schedule the house visit. I then checked my phone to make sure that happened. There is a Google task in my thing. Again, connectors turned on so it can do that kind of thing. You can see it did it there. Then I said, add it to my calendar. Then I said, remove it from my calendar because wait, I don't want it on there. And then I removed it from my calendar. And then I said, tell me some talking ideas, some talking points, some small talk ideas for when I talk to Johnny on Monday. And it pulled from what I have in the notes about him. It's a fake person. I put fake interests in there in the notes, but this was correct. It scanned what Johnny liked and came back to me with the things that I should talk to him about when I call him on Monday. So really, it's a CRM in a box. It can also add, like I said, calendar events, tasks, reminders to do things. It can generate PDFs and spreadsheets and everything. Um, there is a way where it could edit an existing spreadsheet. If you're doing it this way on the free tip, simple tip, not getting complicated, it's keeping track of it in here in the chat. So every time you want to export it, you have to say, give me a new version of the spreadsheet, and then it generates one and gives it to you, and now you have a new version of it. So there are some limitations, but again, there are ways you could go beyond that. This is a very basic class here, but there are ways that you could make it much more, and you could actually create a CRM, an actual app, and host it for very cheaply on your phone, on your computer, an actual CRM. So this is what I'm going to do here. I gave it a prompt, build me a CRM similar to Follow Up Boss, Lofty, Bold Trail, blah, blah, blah. Include all the typical CRM features they would have. With all these prompts, they're pretty basic. The more you tell it, the better it will be. You can also edit it later. So we'll see what comes of that one. Yeah, go for it. Do it. So contact management, you can definitely, I mean, between Google Calendar, Google Tasks, Google, all the Google stuff, or if you're in the Microsoft world, it's got all the things too, plus AI. So really, do we really need a CRM? I don't know that you do for most people. If you're very high volume, very high leads coming in, or you run lots of Facebook ads that bring in tons of leads and they need to automatically go into a thing, again, you could set that up via your own thing. But if you need that, maybe you need those systems. But if that's not the case, and that's true of most agents, I believe, you a lot of times don't need all that. That's a question I get from a lot of my clients is, what do you see people using for CRM? I don't want to pay for Follow-Up Boss anymore or whatever. And I really, what do you, and I'm like, a Google Sheet and AI and pretty much does all the things that all those things do. So follow-up reminders, automation, you saw how that happened. Exporting and reporting, like I said, you could ask it for anything you want to know. You could even ask it over time, like what's my response rate for leads, or what's my conversion rate from the time they're entered to signing a listing, or whatever you want to know about anything in there. It can make web pages and slide decks and pictures and PDFs and whatever you want out of it. So anything you want to know about your contacts and what you're doing, you can get out of it. Transaction management, we've already talked a little bit about it. So one thing it can do is obviously with the notebook, that's part of my transaction management. It knows everything. So I can even ask it like, and it has my checklist for what I do for my SOPs. So if I say, hey, did I do everything or did I do this thing? It will know, no, you didn't, you need to do it or whatever. You can also give AI PDFs like a sales agreement and say, pull out all the important dates for me. And if it doesn't do it perfectly, because there's a lot of stuff in the sales agreement, it might not do it perfectly. You might have to say, every time I tell you to do this, make sure you look at this line. I want that date and this line. That's kind of nice. Actually, our sales agreement have line numbers, but you could train it pretty easily after you do it a couple times to get it back exactly how you want it. Doesn't mean you don't want to peruse it yourself and everything, but to have a second thing doing it also wouldn't be terrible. A lot of our transaction management, like the sky slopes and the whatever your brokerage uses to upload documents, those things are pretty much doing the same thing also. It's scanning your PDF and then inputting the information. So you can do that yourself. You can extract text. Hey, pull all the text out of this picture so I can put it into my notes or whatever. So scanning and getting documents into your system, reminders. You saw how we do that. You can just ask AI, hey, do my calendar, set a task, do whatever. That's pretty basic stuff at this point, as long as you have those connectors turned on, the reminders and schedulers. Oh, and you can also, at least in Gemini, you can have it invite the other people. So if it has the email, or you can just give it the email address for the person right then, say, hey, create a calendar event for next Thursday. Or better yet, here's a sales agreement, create calendar events for every important date for 5 minutes, because I want it in my calendar, but not taking up a bunch of time, for 5 minutes, and invite both buyer and seller and other agent to the inspection one and to this or that one or whatever you want. And it'll do that. So it can also invite other people to the calendar events. So you really can use it to set up reminders for you and the client and all that stuff. I have not tried in Google Tasks and Google Notes. You can share notes and task lists with people. I haven't tried telling Google to also share that task list with a client, but it might be able to do that. But for sure, with calendar events, it can. The process, again, you heard how it can help you through the process, track things, report on things, all that stuff, reporting, websites, visualizations on things, whatever you want to generate out of it, you can get. CMAs. So I love using AI for price analyses. I have my own proprietary algorithm, I call it. So I'm very thorough with my own to begin with. I have my own way of doing it, but then I also have AIs, both a trained one and an untrained one that I like to run and see what they come back with because a lot of times you'll be like, well, that's not a comp I would use, and that's garbage, and that's not right. But it does uncover something. You're like, oh, I didn't think about that. It's definitely, again, can research way more than we can. So it a lot of times comes back with something that I didn't think of, or was a good point, or just something to know about the property or the area or whatever. So I love using AI for that. Again, I wouldn't just use it as gospel and here's my AI said it's worth this, so that's what we should go with, Mr. Seller. Heck no. But do I include it in my analysis? Here's my really thorough analysis, and then here's also what AI said about it, my highly trained, specialized AI that it is going to do it the right way. I have that in there too. That also helps with, they're doing AI. They're going to Zillow and doing it, but now they're also going to ChatGPT or Gemini or wherever. What's my house worth? And then they want to see what you come back with. So if you combat, here are my numbers, and also I already know what AI is saying about it because I already asked it and I've already factored that in and discounted what is wrong and taken what is right out of that. So it also preemptively does to your client, like, I'm already using AI. I already know what it says. I know what Zillow says. I already know what the other 10 automated estimates say. My CMAs include all 11. Some of them double up, so sometimes it's 8 to 11, but 11 automated estimates, which is also good to illustrate that Zillow's not the only that look at all these and how much they vary. So that's not right. Sometimes some of them are right, but CMAs are a great way to do it. The way you would do it, I would do it for a to create one is in Gemini anyway. And if you want to do it in chat, they just name gems, they name it a skill or a project or whatever. Again, just ask that model how to do the same thing. In Gemini, it's a gem. So I would create a gem. I would name it comparative market analysis of homes or whatever you want to name it. And then in the instructions is where you're going to tell it what you want to do. You're going to act as, I wouldn't say appraiser, but you're going to act as an expert real estate agent or act as me. You want to tell it what it's doing and why it's doing it, coming up with values for homes for me to list. Things like only use the comps I give you, or again, I like to have both. Only use the comps I give you, or go out and find your own comps and do your own analysis. Both are good to have, I think. Tell it things like that. Also, tell it things like automatically run the report when I give you an address and comps. Like, I don't have to say anything else. When I click that gem and talk to it, I just say 123 Main Street in Carlisle, enter. And the comps, if I'm giving it the comps, enter, and then it will do the thing and give me the report. So in the instructions and any nuances, if you're telling it to go find the comps itself, you might say, I only want ones with the exact same number bedrooms, only ranches, don't pull anything that's not an exact ranch. Maybe tell it, expand the geographic area slightly before including houses that are two-story or vary in type, if that's the way you like to do it, however you like to do it. But tell it all the things you like to do. And again, you can come back to this. So this isn't a once and done. Once you use it a couple times, you're only like, oh, I don't like that output, or oh, I need to specify that. So name it something, give it your instructions, knowledge. This is where you can add files. So if you had, maybe you go to Gemini, you deep research and say, hey, I'm building a gem to be a home price analyst. Research everything that I should tell it so that it knows how to analyze a property properly. I'd probably word it better than that, but basically, I want it to go learn how to analyze from all the experts out there, whatever it can find, how to analyze a property like other people would, and then give me all that in a document, and then I could put that document in here. Or if you had, I don't know, you can't use the appraisal documents, but there might be other kinds of documents out there that you could use. But anything you want to put in there, you can attach, and then you save it, and then you have a home price analysis gem that you can just click your gems, select that one, put your address in, and you get a nice report out. You can also share gems, same with the other platforms, projects, skills, blah, blah, blah. You can share them with people. So you could even share it with your client and say, hey, you can even use this specialized one that I trained and ask it what you want if you want to. So CMAs, I love them. They do uncover things. And really, you could even if you didn't build it, they're so smart these days that you could even just go to the chat and say, do a comparative market analysis of 123 Main Street, and they know what that means, and they'll go do it pretty well. But if you want to have it real dialed into how you specifically like it, you'd have to do a little bit more. So CMAs, price analyses, all very great. You can also, if you just wanted to use it just for, you pulled your own comps and the for sales right now and the pendings right now and all the stuff and the trends over time, all the things. And now you want to make sense of all that data or pull data or do certain math. What's the average days on market? Just pull all the data without you having to do it. I know the multi-list kind of does a lot of that for you already. But you could give everything to AI and say, hey, give me this out of that. And it will give it to you very, very quickly. So CMA is super great. Video and image editing. This is the fun part. So virtual staging and object removal, that's pretty obvious. You can go in. I think I have one. Oh, I just deleted it, I think. We'll change this one to this. We'll see if it works. We'll do. Oh no, I had ChatGPT open for that. So ChatGPT and Gemini are both your image places. Claude does not do images. Grok does. I don't ever use it. ChatGPT is supposed to be the best. Gemini right there up with it. There are other specialized image ones, but that's basically the two. Here, I have a picture of the bedroom, and I said, remove the dressers, make the bedspread a plain navy blue style, remove the picture on the wall, do not change anything else. You definitely want to say, do not change anything else. Because sometimes it'll zoom in or zoom out, and you might find that you have to specifically say, do not zoom in or zoom out, do not change framing or perspective, blah, blah, blah. But again, these things are getting pretty smart these days, so hopefully it's not that cumbersome. We'll come back. This is slow. I can say Gemini. Gemini is usually where I do this, but I was trying to be inclusive. All right. See, yeah, looks like it didn't change anything. Windows, everything are still where they are. That ledge, which I never noticed before, is there still. Dressers are gone. Shadows from the dressers are still there. So again, it doesn't do things perfectly. If I was spending a bunch of time, I'd say remove the shadows that remain from the dressers that were there, and hopefully it would get that and do it. So did a pretty good job, not too bad. And then if you wanted to add picture on wall, remove bed, change carpet to this, make the walls white and trim bright red, which is ridiculous. Uh, add a American flag on the wall. And it'll do that. So you can do all kinds of things. You could show potential renovations if you had the front of a house, change the shutters to black, change the brick to painted white, redo the lawn, whatever you want to do, you could do. If you, obviously, if you're using any of these in marketing, you need to specify. So if I was going to use anything edited in AI in marketing, which I personally do not do in the multi-list or anything, I would put in very explicit, noticeable type. This was um, edited by AI. Actual place might vary. Blemishes that do not exist in this picture might exist at the property because you never know, especially with when you do things like remove dresser. What if there was a big hole behind that dresser that you are now representing is not there in your pictures? So a lot of people think just removing things isn't bad, but removing things, I don't like doing that either. And then adding things, obviously, if there was a hole in the wall and you said add a dresser and the hole was not seen anymore, then you wouldn't want to do that either. So you want to be really, really explicit about it. Fine to use them, and it's great again for my favorite is when a client says, I wonder what it would look like this. That's when I love to use it to change wall colors or just tell them, hey, you can go here and tell it to do all these things. That's what I like it for. Or even maybe in the multi-list, I could see that, but called out very, very plainly. So that's a basic thing that all of us could use it for. Don't have to go to Box Brownie anymore if you don't want to. Um, envision modeling possibilities. Again, you can see it there. All these images here were made by AI for this slide deck also. So if you wanted to envision something, that's great. And then just special effects and fun stuff. So if you wanted to, like this is my house, and I wanted to make some funny social media post about an alien crashing in the roof or something like that, you could do that. You can even make videos like that. I could drop that photo into Gemini and say, animate this and make this happen. Blah blah blah, and it would make that. So you can use it just for fun special effects, or you could make one there that has you walking out when I snap my fingers, make the house renovated to this renovation. It will do that kind of thing. Where is it? I had one in here. In Gemini, you can even make an avatar. It takes about 30 seconds, maybe a minute to make an avatar in there. You can go into your settings to do it. And then you can call yourself into a video whenever you want. Derek Bixler, me in a wingsuit on top of the Empire State Building. I say blah, blah, blah. Let's jump in, blah, blah, blah. I click to go. You can choose wide or vertical, and we'll see what comes of that. You could use it for listings to show anything you want, or maybe it's like a transformation of what it looks like now into what it could look like, or anything under the sun it can make for you. Again, it's not going to be perfect every time. We will see what it comes up with that, especially with videos. You got to do it a few times and like, oh, when I word it that way, it makes it weird. Or that was just too much for it to handle. It's too much. Empire State Building and wingsuit and me saying a thing and the make sure it's this time of day and just then it's like, I can't do all that stuff and do it well. So sometimes you learn that, but it'll make pretty much anything. You can also give it pictures. So I could give it a picture of a house, like I said, or a picture of a person or whatever, and say, make this thing do this thing, or make this house the background of the video we're making, and it will do that. So sky's the limit there. It's only getting better and better and better too. I don't like to use it for like when I make local SEO content to give tips in my podcast and stuff, I'm not using AI to be that or on social media. I don't necessarily like that. But to make things that are more, maybe more obviously I do like to use it for that. Um, so special effects or just fun things you can do, video and image editing. Again, Gemini is the only one that will do both. ChatGPT will do image. Gemini is the only one that will do pretty much everything. Example, previous we talked about that. Automation scheduling, kind of talked about this already. Your smart calendar. My Google Calendar is now a smart calendar because my Gemini is attached to it. It can put stuff in there, it can read it. It can even in Gemini, and you can do it again, same type of thing in the others. It even has a daily brief now. You might have to pay for at least the $5 version, but it has a daily brief. And of course, it's not going to show up when I pull it up. Why is it not showing? Huh. Now it's making me a liar. What? It just disappeared. All right, forget the daily brief. It's somewhere though. I know it didn't disappear, or maybe it did. Maybe that's news I just uncovered. Things change as you talk. There used to be a daily brief in there that when you would click it, it would tell you what emails you needed to respond to, what your tasks were for the day, what you need to be thinking about for upcoming things in your life. Hey, remember you talked about shoes with your wife? Do you want to buy those shoes? All those kinds of things. It would outline all those things automatically without you even telling it to. So, smart calendar, email triage, being able to access your email, read things for you, write replies for you. If you're using Google, you can just write in the reply, click, it's the AI's right in there. So all that kind of stuff, if you're using Claude or Claude Cowork or any of the AI agents, the more automated stuff, they can access and write emails and sort them even into folders and do all that stuff for you. But even on the basic side, it can for sure read it and write replies for you and tell you trends. Or something I did not too long ago with a client was I told them to go to your Gmail and or go to your Gemini and say scan my Gmail for frequently asked questions from my clients and come back to me with a list of so we can make a FAQ section on the website or wherever you want to put it. And it went and did it, scanned the email, and brought it over. So all kinds of automations and scheduling that can happen. The more advanced automations are going to come with more advanced usage of AI with the AI agents, like I talked about. Since last class, a very exciting development happened. Spark, which is Gemini's AI agent, similar to a Claude Cowork or a ChatGPT version. I think theirs is just Codex or something. Spark is now available. It used to only be on the $100 plan. It is now on the $20 plan as well. So if you're on the $20 plan at least, you have access to Spark now, which can do extended automations or recurring automations and things like that. So example would be every Friday, scan all the real estate listing platforms for views and saves, etc., and create an easy to understand presentation in web page form to share with the seller clients. And you could actually tell it to and email it to me, and I will forward it to the client, or you could have it. I think you could have it email it. I don't like that. With Claude Cowork and ChatGPT Codex, for sure you could send it. So you could have it doing recurring things like this. I wouldn't do it exactly like that, so I wouldn't advise doing it like that, but that's a good example. And you could automate some of that anyway. A lot of my reports need input from me first, so some automations can't happen or they can happen to an extent and then they need input. But that would be a good example of an automation you could set up. Uh, Research. We talked about research. There's no way I can research as well as these things can. So, if you wanted to know, say everything about traditions of America at Silver Spring and the well, I did it separately. Everything about that neighborhood that you can find on the internet, go. It's going to go and pull back everything it can possibly find about it and report back to you and give you anything you want out of it. You could even, haven't done this in a long time, but deep research. How about we do, Kim? Uh, research everything you can find about Kim Torriello, who works at Greater Harrisburg Association of Realtors and lives in Harrisburg, PA area. Hopefully that's enough to, and I think I spelled it right, maybe wrong. Let's see what it comes up with. You could research clients and things to know about. So if you're going to a meeting and you want to be like, what do they like? What do they dislike? What are they about? Um, are they a crazy person if they had a criminal record or there were publicly available court and criminal stuff? Then you might find that out as well. Wow, that was oh no, it's just asking me, is this how you want to do it? And then I say, yes, that's how I want you to do it. And then it'll go do it. So research about stuff. You can't do it yourself better now. There's no way. Researching things is so much better with AI. That's kind of a no-brainer and doesn't need too much explanation. Writing, like I said, it can be a huge shortcut to writing, especially SEO stuff, blog writing, website page writing, social media caption writing. All those things are great, except you can't copy it and paste it. I think we all kind of know that by now, but we all kind of still do it still. But you really don't want to, especially if we're talking about blog articles or website pages for SEO or getting noticed by AI. Because if you use AI to research and then write something, it's just going to be regurgitating information that is already out there. So, what makes yours special? Absolutely nothing. So, what they increasingly want is personal perspectives, personal opinions, things that it can't find anywhere else, unique things, personal dislikes and likes and pet peeves and favorites and whatever. That's what you really want to include, as well as write in your own style of writing and make sure there are no M dashes ever in anything and those kind of things. So AI is a great way to start. Hey, here's the MLS sheet or all the information for this new listing I have coming up. Please write me a listing description for it. Make it this many characters, make a paragraph about the property, a paragraph about traditions, and a paragraph about the area amenities that seniors would care about. And then it'll write it, and then you look at it and read it and change it and take out the M dashes and anything else. Add your own feelings, anything it missed, anything you want, and change it up. You don't just simply copy and paste it. Newsletters, same thing. Blog posts, same thing. Especially with blog posts, it's Google and the crawlers, and for SEO and ranking, it's not going to care if it's the same thing as everything else. What makes yours better? So an easy way to make it better, and we're nearing the end, but I'm at 8, so I think I'm okay. An easy way to do this is for blog writing or page writing specifically would be so on a website, you should have a service area page for every service area. So if I serve Harrisburg, I would want to have a page about Harrisburg. I like to call it the ultimate guide to Harrisburg, everything you need to know about living in or moving to Harrisburg, PA. So you ask AI to research everything that you would need to make that page, give it all the sections that you want. I want a government page and a real estate market section and a I don't talk about schools or safety. What else? Lifestyle, parks in the area. I don't know, that kind of thing. Amenities, all the other kind of stuff you would want to have in there. Tell it what you want. It goes out, it writes the article for you, you copy and paste it onto your blog article or your website page. You don't publish it then you go through each part, doing what we talked about before, editing it, making sure it's correct, taking out M dashes and glaring signs of AI written stuff. But then you also make a purpose of like each section. Make sure I add, and you could even just explicitly say my feelings on the subject or my favorite places to eat pizza. And then you would say your favorite places and then put something really personal about it. Like I love putting extra jalapenos on their grandma's pizza because it tastes super good. And my kids love sitting in the corner because there's a little nick in the table, which makes our quarter sliding game super fun. Blah, 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 that kind of thing. That's really personal, that it's not going to find anywhere else. It's an opinion, super rich data for when someone says, where should I eat pizza? Maybe you don't want to focus on that for real estate, but where should I eat pizza? Where's the best place in Carlisle to eat pizza? It's going to scan everything, and this is information that it's not going to find anywhere else, maybe in reviews on the internet, but that's the kind of information you want to include. Unique things, perspectives, opinions, your favorites. Here's my list of favorites, and this is why. And it's going to be different from everybody else's. So you could have some regurgitated information. You start with a shortcutted AI writes the thing for you, and then you go through it and actually make it a good resource. Maybe add some links, do all the stuff. So great at writing, but it does not replace you. It is not the ending. You will not win if that's all you're doing is copying and pasting, unless you've really, really, really trained it really, 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 really well. Presentations, we've talked about that like crazy. Let's check on what we got. Which one was this? That was a CRM, which is not a presentation, but you can see there kind of gave us a pretty good starting point. These are all fake people. I was like, I don't know who those people are, and don't put that in there. I didn't tell you to. Task management, property pipeline, main dashboard to look at, settings. I've even made ones where a team can use it and add other team members for it, and it remembers the stuff in the cloud and everything. You just talk to it if you want to change it. Hey, move this over there, make that number bigger, add a whole nother section, add the ability to add pictures to each person or videos or YouTube social links or whatever you find is missing or you want to change. You can edit it and then you can publish it and use the thing just like your own CRM. So you can see how quickly it usually built a fairly decent thing right out of the box because again, it knows what it's doing. That we did. Did I not make a website? I thought I made a website out of some. Is that the one I closed? Make a website about traditions. Attach notebook. And I'm just going to keep it short and see. We'll see what it comes up with just that prompt. So presentations we talked about, it can also create slide decks for you and then export slide decks to Google Slides so that you can do it. The other AIs can also export. They wouldn't export too well. You could integrate it, but they can give you a file, a slide deck, a PowerPoint presentation as well. This one was made by AI. We talked about a couple things. I said, make me the slide deck, and then I said, put it into Google Slides, and then I have it in here and edit it a little bit. So presentation wise, super great. Buyer tours and decks, anything you want to make, sky's the limit. Whatever you can imagine, you can make. And last thing, social media. We've talked about how you can make videos and images and all kinds of things and edit things and make the actual creatives for social media. You can also use it to say, with this video in mind, and you could give it a video from YouTube that is a guru you follow and you like the video about how they talked about how to set up and what to do with your social media. So you could put that in there and say, with this video in mind, scan my social media profiles for any gaps in the content that I am posting, also provide any trends you see in my data or content, provide me with a detailed action plan to improve my social media exposure and reach. Or you could say, hey, I want to be known for this niche for seniors and downsizing. How can I do that? Scan my stuff for what I'm doing right and wrong, scan the internet for others that are doing it and compare me against them, all kinds of stuff. So it can go out and research things for you. You could also export your data from Facebook or wherever. You can get your data and then feed it to your AI in many different ways. And then it can analyze that and give you input and action plans, etc. for that. So social media and marketing, you can use it on the creative side. You could even use it on the lead magnet side. You can make the picture of the post or the ad with AI. You could make the actual deliverable, the PDF, the slide deck, whatever it is, the cheat sheet, the newsletter, whatever it is, with AI. And then you could follow up with them AI, put them into your AI CRM, all the things. So you really can do so much. You can also track it, track when you posted where, tell you your cadence is off, yada yada. And I see we're at time, so I think I'm done anyway. That's the last one. Any questions about any of that? I know it's a lot and I kind of go through it quickly here. The way to get better at it is really just go practice it, whatever you think is interesting. Oh, I didn't know I could do that with it. I like that idea. Then go try that and don't give up after the first try. I always hear, oh, I tried to do this with ChatGPT and it was dumb and didn't work. Did you try it again? What was your prompt? What was like, did you spend more than one half a second on it? No, I didn't. All right, well, might need to spend a little bit more time on it. So don't expect it to work perfectly the first time, but as you use it more, you'll get better at it. And then the better you get, and the more automations and dialing in you do, the more it can do things for you and give you better results. And you'll figure out like, these are the things I really use it for. Oh, I love using it as a CRM, but I never use it for photos. So, um, give some things a try. Any questions or anything from anybody? Is there anything in the chat? I'm trying to get back over there.
I find this very helpful. It's definitely more user friendly than Chat GPT.
Yeah, it does. I mean, Gemini, and I'm not trying to be a sales pitch for Gemini, it's just what I use. I feel it does everything. And for the value, for the money, and the cutoffs for the tokens and everything, it does so much. And then you could still use ChatGPT for certain stuff. I still use it for stuff, Claude, whatever. Really should be familiar with a couple, but yeah, Gemini does everything under the sun. And it's integrated with if you're in the Google ecosystem, it's already embedded in all that stuff.
Yeah, as you were speaking, I was playing on it and following along what you were saying, and it even picked up some things on tax records and stuff that I already had researched, and I'm like, oh, so it's going a deeper dive into research than chat. Chat, you have to really explain what you want. Um, but yeah, yeah, it's first time I'm hearing about it, so I appreciate
Yep.
this.
Especially research Gemini because it's Google. They have direct feed from all the information on the planet better than anybody else. They've got direct to YouTube, and it's just can do it way better. Cool. Well, thanks to everybody for being here and those of you that hung in. Awesome. Reach out if you need anything. I will give Kim all the stuff so it'll be out there. I'll try to pull some of the prompts that you can start with if you want. Kimmy, I use Gemini a lot better. It's great to hear input. Yep. You're welcome. All right. If there's no, is Kim even here still?
I am. So if there are any other
Oh,
questions, thank
there.
you everyone. If anyone wanted a recording, let me know and I can send that out to you. And I guess that's it. If anyone has any questions that Derek didn't cover, I'm sure Derek is happy to answer them if you reach out to him after this presentation.
Yep. Oh yeah, this just goes on the YouTube channel. That's where the recording automatically goes, right?
We posted on our website, and I'm not sure what Katie uses. I think she may have used YouTube last time, so.
Yeah, it appeared the recent webinars are going on there. Put it on there. Tell her to do it again. I'm assuming she plans to anyway.
All right. Well,
Because
thank
if
you,
anybody, I
everyone.
don't want to make people have to ask for the recording. Should just be there.
All right. Thanks, Derek. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, Kim.
Have a good
Thanks,
rest of your
everybody.
day.
I appreciate it, Eric. I appreciate it, Kim. Yeah, it's very useful information. Thanks. Have a great day.
Thanks, everybody.